the University of Cambridge, England. March 1953. American biologist James Watson and English physicist Francis Crick discover the three-dimensional double helix shape of DNA. But our genetic code proves to be so complex that Francis Crick proposes it did not develop by chance, and also that it is not of this earth.
Sir Francis Crick said that the human genome is not something that could have occurred randomly, and that therefore we were somehow programmed specifically by extraterrestrials, it would seem, many thousands of years ago.
The DNA molecule itself is the equivalent of the entire Encyclopedia Britannica being dropped out of a helicopter, chopped up into individual words, and then as the words fall out of the helicopter like confetti, that they all arrange into the correct order that they were in. That's the madness that is required to even speculate that DNA could have evolved randomly on Earth.
Is it possible that DNA is an intelligently designed code? And if so, might there even be more information embedded within our genetic makeup than scientists have yet to find?
As an information molecule, I think DNA is much more attractive than radio signals and so on. It lives longer, it has the ability to self-replicate, and it has an astronomically tiny error rate. And so these three properties make DNA a unique storage device. So if you want to store a secret or a stamp of the maker, DNA would be your choice.
Could it be that there are messages actually imprinted right in our genetic makeup? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and contend that part of that message may be contained within the universal structure of DNA, which consists of a series of three-molecule combinations known as codons, or triplets. They say that it is much more than coincidence that 3 is also the number of stars in Orion's belt, the number of pyramids on the Giza Plateau that line up with those stars, and the basic geometry behind the pyramid shape itself.
We have a very fascinating connection to data points saying the same thing. Number 3 is where you begin building geometry. The DNA molecule has an underlying geometry to it. Geometry is intrinsic to the design of the universe, and that the number 3 builds the triangle being the building block of all other geometry. Maybe we'll learn some very interesting things once we can correctly decipher the message.
Are there alien messages all around us, hidden within elaborate designs? Embedded in geographical alignments, carved in rock, etched into the landscape, and even encoded in our DNA? And if so, might there be some significance to the fact that we are just now beginning to discover these messages?
In the book of Daniel, there's a chapter that tells Daniel to seal up the prophecies of the Hebrew Scriptures, and it will be opened again in the days when human beings are running to and fro and knowledge will increase. Well, we could argue that we're living in those days that Daniel was writing about.
So much of what we know about ancient culture, ancient architecture, ancient technology is encoded. There are codes in literature. We see in the New Jerusalem diagram that there is encoding, again, in geometry, in the architecture. These codes were left to us a long, long time ago so that we could find our way, so that we could remember who we are.
Is it some kind of message for us from the past that we're to decode when we have reached a higher state of civilization and knowledge, that we can figure all this out? It would seem that we are only just now reaching a point of knowledge and technology that we can understand these codes and find the hidden meaning that's there.
Is it possible that the answers to mankind's greatest questions, where did we come from, why are we here, and where are we headed, are actually all around us, hidden in alien messages, waiting to be deciphered?